Yeah, yeah, it's King Trikk here, Nordic Confederacy, and we spell that Khan like Genghis Khan. And unlike the Southern Confederacy, Con, and many of the con artists I met when I lived in the Southeast back in the day. And I got a lot to say today. And I'm here representing one of the members of the Spiritual Roundtable, the great Ho Lee, who after watching the DNC orgy slash convention said he's taken it upon himself to take on Obama. He calls him Barack Obama. And I said, what's your beef with Obama, Ho Lee? He said he's becoming a global political hoe. And I said, really? And he said, damn Skippy to me. Ho Lee's a holy man. He loves the hoes and he's damn good with a garden hoe. He believes in permaculture and kung fu, by the way. So that was quite an announcement from Ho Lee to the king. And I've been consulting with my spiritual roundtable a lot lately because of things that are happening with many of King Trikk's kingdom members, if you will, members of the kingdom, and haters and frenemies and enemies and all of the above. So Ho Lee's going after Obama, and he said that DNC convention looked like an orgy, and he's ready for the hope and change to kick in, and it never kicked in. And he's good friends with Queen Candid, Southside Chicago, like your king is. And we're waiting for it to kick in since 2008, and it never kicked in. So Ho Lee's become a doubter. But he's with me that we need to restart the Choom Gang, and we need to get Axelrod in on it. We need a real Choom Gang this time. And Ho Lee's down for that. So we haven't given up on Obama, but we think he's a global political hoe now, probably hanging out with Akhtar, Glick, Zu Gutenberg, and the rest of them. We don't know yet. I'm a king. I have to look into all this stuff, and I'm looking into it. But we do know this. When Ho Lee calls someone out, it's going to get really, really serious. And he's calling out Barack Obama. Okay? We know that for sure. And I got another thing to say, and this ain't coming from my spiritual roundtable, about Robert the Fourth Reich, that short little fat guy who was in the Clinton administration calling out Elon Musk because he says he needs to rein him in. It's like a certain cream pie and a fat sheriff from Smokey and the Bandit trying to rein in the bandit. Another law and order liberal, union clocksucker who's penetrated the conservative movement. I know these types, believe me. I know them, believe me. Dirty Gary's a great investigator, and Martin Luther's a great sinvestigator, by the way. So we're against Robert Reich, thinking he's going to rein in Elon. We like Elon. He's a very good guy, and he's out there just doing his thing. And there's a bunch of jealous people who can't do their thing. And I bet Elon Musk ain't afraid to take a fish off a hook, by the way. Okay? I'm going to take off my glasses here because I'm about to get serious about some stuff here. There's an epic battle going on right now that starts from the headwaters of the Mississippi all the way down to New Orleans, okay? And it has to do with a spiritual battle, okay? And I'm a Republican, and we spell it Republikhan. And we like John Wayne's movie The Conqueror, and so did Bear Chief. Don't kid yourself. Yeah, we know that cream pie projects. Psychology basically associates, discriminates, and projects based on self-referential loops. This is above the cream pies. You don't understand. But I got my guilt-free loincloth here, and I'm feeling very guilt-free right now, which would drive Tater Tot Sue crazy because she doesn't know how to cook couscous or eat dandelions. So I'm going to read from the Sea Island Creole, and then I'm going to unpack what's going on in this epic spiritual battle between Leslie the lesbian, who bit the diesel hornet, we call her the master biter, and the Sam Boozler, who's going off on the Apache man. One in the headwaters of the Mississippi in Minnesota and one in Louisiana. We're not going to give up on them because I have a spiritual roundtable that's epic. Okay? We're going to read from the book of Hebrews, and we're going to talk about lay we come nigh to God. Me brethren, cause of Jedis blood, what ye gie when ye dead pon the cross, we ain't gotta for be scared even a little bit. And in the Sea Island Creole, they spell little, L-E-E-T-L-E, which makes me think about one of my favorite scriptures towards my kingdom. Have mercy upon the little children. Have mercy upon the little children, like the Minnesota cream pie who always wants to be the man. But we know Irene O'Hara, the greatest porn star to ever come out of L.A., put that cream pie in his place a long time ago. We know that. And who didn't have a dog named Rebel? And who didn't know stanchion barns are all over Minnesota? How basic that is. You ain't special. You're common. And you're boring. That we know. So right here in the Sea Island Creole, it merely takes the Yucca crisis and really amplifies it, because it says you can go right in by faith. And that doesn't mean, right here, I got some more for you. Lay we stand strong and never gie up hope that we gwine get the kingdom what we say we believe God gwine gie we. Must not doubt even a little bit. Must not even doubt a little bit. So, anyways, I wanted to read that Sea Island Creole and talk a little bit about the Sam Boozler attacking the Apache man and on the north side of the Mississippi up by the headwaters, and Leslie the lesbian, the master biter, taking a chunk out of the diesel hornet's arm. Now the Sam Boozler is trying to take down the Apache man and keep him from his calling. But my spiritual round trip table, including Martin Luther, the Podfather Sea Island Creole, Saint Tan, and Hannibal Lecturer, who says, "You will not silence my lambs," says the Apache man needs a lot of prayer from the spiritual round table and needs to go chop wood for 3 years and fish and do some work and not be a union clock sucker and learn how to work a little bit. Real work, like a man. Okay? That's what we need. That's what we have to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, most people project what they've never done. So the battlesnake's been in there, but the cream pie never was, so he's projecting, and there's a lot of people who know it, by the way. Anyways, when you listen to your HR sister who voted for Obama, we know what happens. That's another story. So we need to continually lift up the Apache man to take down the Sam Boozler and keep him from his calling. And the same thing with the diesel hornet fighting Leslie the lesbian. Okay? And we know that's true. And yeah, we know that cream pie never worked in his life. He sat on some machine, and that's why he can't make it to the toilet now. We know that's true. And I have it from an undercover investigator from the Cold War who was close with the Podfather Sea Island Creole, Dirty Gary and the crew, by the way. Even Prick Vicious, Just so you know. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We all know the truth. Anyways, no liars make it into the kingdom. And the cream pie needs to realize that. Okay? No liars make it in. We know that. So we got an epic battle going on. We got an epic battle going on from the north of the Mississippi all the way down to the south. Okay? We know that. And we know that's real. We know that. And we know the Minnesota cream pie. We know his background for real because Dirty Gary was there. Dirty Gary was right there and saw it all, up close and personal. He saw what the cream pie was. We know that. Okay, the next thing we're going to cover is Robert Spencer and David Wood. Okay? And the Jihad Watch with Olaf Schultz and a man named Pope Frank. Okay? Reminds me of Hogan Heroes with Schultz and Colonel Klink and Olaf Schultz being Schultz and Theodore zu Gutenberg being Colonel Klink. That's what we know. Okay? That's what we know is going on. So they're probably hanging out with Yehuda Glick, Adnan off my rocker Akhtar, and Jenny the one-legged German leprechaun who's in with Woltz. We know that. We know all that's going on. So, anyways, the Minnesota cream pie, we know what happened because we investigated, and Irene O'Hara, the porn star, took all his money. Okay? And Dirty Gary said 13 years and there wasn't one call from the fake daughter. That's a report I got from the great Sinvestigator. The great Sinvestigator, not one call. That's what's going on. And there was money taken that was brought back to the ex, and it was rooted in an adulterous affair. And that's biblically accurate. We know that. We love it. We love the truth. Anyways, I think, there's some heavy stuff going on these days with King Trikk's call-out show. And my God, here we go. We got a call-out. Our first, because I don't take calls. I'm a king. I'm a king. I do the calling around here. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Look at that beard. That's a kingly beard right there. I'm going to find this number and I'm going to call this guy and do my first call out. So bear with me. So anyways, the cream pie got suckered at a bar by an older woman going after his money. It was in an adulterous affair. And then she was grabbing that money and bringing it back to the ex. Everybody knows it. We know it. We know what happened. It's not hard to figure out when you got an investigator like Dirty Gary and a sin investigator like Prick Vicious, who knows his sin when he sees it. But you got to give her credit, Irene O'Hara. She's the greatest porn star since Barbara Adair. We know that right away. We know that. That's a fact. See if I can get this guy online. We're going to try. We're going to try to get him online. Okay? We're going to try to get him online here. Okay, here we go. We almost have it. We're calling him right now. Is this the Minnesota cream pie? I got your number from my producer, the Big Cheesy, and he said that you had the guts for the king to call you, because I do the calling around here, and that you had a political question for the king of the Nordic Confederacy. What's your question? He's yelling at Sue, Tater Tot Sue, right now. What's going on, Cream Pie? I'm not. Okay. So the Cream Pie is going to have a question for the king, because the only chance he has for education is when his king speaks. By the way, we do believe Jenny, the one-legged German leprechaun. I guess Sue's clipping his toenails right now. Get to the question, Cream Pie. I know you can't make it to the toilet, and we know you didn't have a street fighting career in Ontonagon. What's going? You can't take the crown. You can't handle Irene, the porn star, who never takes your calls. I know Dirty Gary told me everything, but what? We've never met, Cream Pie, but I heard everything I need to know about you from the great investigator, Dirty Gary. Better than Dirty Harry. What's your question? I can educate you on politics. Okay, Tim Walls, why was he selected VP? That's a compelling question. I know it didn't come from your brainlessness. It came from someone who's talking to you, because you don't have the brains, because you can't read. And like the Nephilim master says, if you give you the letter C and T, you can't spell cat, because you're too uneducated. And you're not a historian at all, by the way. So this is why they picked Walls. Okay, you need a white boy Union socialist who makes Kamala look mainstream, by the way. But it's deeper than that. The Twin Cities is a hub for globalist power. And they want someone at the headwaters of the Mississippi. Okay? Now this is my conspiracy, Khan. So it's strategically positioned. I mean, look what Minnesota has become with the likes of men like yourself there and your crew. You're not even, I don't know what you guys are anymore. You're definitely not 82nd Airborne. And you definitely didn't have real fights like the Mississippi Battlesnake, real ones, which are documented and factual. So you can't continue your lies forever. And people know. They know. Cream Pie. So the Wall selection, and I'll tell you, Kama Lama Ding Dong wouldn't do that interview alone. She needed the backup of that white guy. Isn't that funny? So there's a lot going on with that selection, in my kingly opinion. And I am a king. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but I got to look into all this stuff because I'm a king. And the Cream Pie, like, you don't know Cream Pie, because you know why, Cream Pie? Because you hid behind Mama your whole life, and that porn star, and Tater Tot Sue, and you never got out in the real world. Okay? And I heard that right from Dirty Gary, and I trust Dirty Gary. He's a hell of an investigator. Hell of an investigator. So that's why, Cream Pie. It does sound like some, it does. And you would say that, Cream Pie. You would say that to me. You know what I'm saying? But what can we do? Yeah, and I can tell you this, Cream Pie. If you don't think Jenny the one-legged German leprechaun was behind that barn with the uncle, you're naive as you are thinking that woman loved you and just didn't take you for your money. You know what I mean? The wounds of a friend matter. A real friend will wound you with truth. Okay? And that's what, that's what the Spiritual Roundtable is trying to do to the Sam Boozler and the Apache Man and Leslie the Lesbian, the Masturbator, and the Diesel Hornet. See, I'm a king. I have to oversee all this stuff. It ain't easy being a king. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, cream pie, I'm voting for Cornel West. I ain't voting for Donnie Trump. Anyone like you who Donnie Trump gets a vote for, I ain't voting for Trump. I'm voting for Cornel West, the black dude, because I like his afro and I want to hang out with him and Tavis Smiley, by the way. Okay? So, cream pie, I'm glad I could answer your question and educate you on the wall selection, which had local, regional, national, and global implications, but you're not ready to hear the truth yet. Do some study and do some reading, cream pie. I got to get back later. I had to hang up on that, cream pie. He can't understand polysyllabic conceptualizations, right? But that is my first call out on my call-out show, because I'll do the calling around here because I'm a king. And it was good because I've heard about this cream pie from Dirty Gary and the Podfather, Sea Island Creole, and Prick Vicious, but I've never talked to him. He is as dumb as I've heard. He's very stupid. You can hear it. He can't really put together a sentence. He can't think conceptually. It's bad. It's really bad with this guy. And I've heard that from several people, including the producer of all Two Reels Media, the big cheesy and Swifty Taylor, by the way. So that's what's going on. Other than that, things are going great in the Confederacy. I'm just enjoying life. A lot of hikes, got a big hike tomorrow. Training's going good. Life is just good, just living like a rugged individual, heading up to the Yukon with the Finnish Satan, who is he's really interceding for the Samboozler, who's also known as the Finnish Jesus. So you have the Finnish Satan interceding for the Finnish Jesus. Go figure that out. That's a hard one to get your brain around. Yet, it is happening. So that's happening in the Nordic Confederacy. And what I would tell this guy, the cream pie, I would tell him is you gotta lose weight, and you gotta exercise, and you can't be 400 pounds, and you gotta eat some leafy vegetables. Get some leafy vegetables in you. Your body needs vegetables, and then you need a lot of that stuff for just basic general health. And I'd also, from what I heard of this guy, the cream pie, said you just can't go and exercise at a gym and call yourself something you're not. And people know, man. Anyways, King Trikk, Nordic Confederacy. I'm excited about this battle between Ho Lee and Hobama. This is going to be awesome. So there's some guy on my channel called the Minnesota Steamroller saying he needs to show his face, and then he's called the Minnesota, and then he erases his comments quickly. I don't know who this guy is, the Minnesota Steamroller, and then he erases his comments. I don't know if this is a guy that the Big Cheesy was telling me about, who's a sister and mom, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. It's very strange. He gets on and erases his comments. It's very strange. The Minnesota Steamroller, he calls himself. I don't know. I'm a king. I'm looking into all this stuff. Does he have something to do with the Minnesota cream pie? I don't know. When you're a king, you have to look into a lot of shenanigans, right? So we're looking into this Tim Walz deal around the Twin Cities. We're looking into Irene O'Hara and Catlin, a couple of porn stars from L.A. And we're looking into the former husband who was probably behind getting this money. And that's what's going on. This is good stuff. King Trikk, Nordic Confederacy. Over and out.